Hey, sugar babies, how y'all doing today? Listen, I wanted to come to you today because one of my cherubs got in touch with me. I'm gonna figure this out, y'all. Hold on. This is something else that I got a chance to do. I got this one, see, got sent to me. Isn't that nice? It's a candle. It says warm amber and coconut. The other one is, this one is crushed ginger and vanilla. And this one is, it doesn't tell me, but it smells good anyway. So, but it's called Ruby. Ruby. So I wanted to have those nice scents with me. You know, I ran out of my other, I used to have my lighter that had a little bit of an extension on there, but I have to replace it. So what I was going to try to do is improvise, because you know I do like to have my candles going when I'm doing this and have my angel nearby. You can't see her in the background. I put her on the other side there. But I do have my lemon tea. I got my tea. Open that up right now. Let me turn up my volume because normally you guys can't. Sometimes it'd be too loud and I have like static. I hate that. I do listen to my own videos, y'all. Oh my God. Joseph came by yesterday and woke me up. So we went upstairs and played Miss Pac-Man together. He let me win. So he's a very smart man. So we had fun talking and talking. We're just as different can be. Everything that I like, he don't like, and everything he like, I don't like. That's what I told him. Plus, I told him, I said, them Josephs ain't no good, honey. I never met a Joseph that was up to any good at all, including my son. Which I really haven't told him that much about, about Joseph. I hope this his smoke detector don't go off. Let me put this here in this here water. I got me a bottle of water over here. Ooh, that thing sure enough smoked a lot. That's why I have to have my proper equipment for doing what I do, but I be trying to improvise, honey. At my age, the improvisation days are over. Okay, so see how it lights up in there? Ain't that nice? Oh my God, I love this. So I'm gonna keep this container even afterwards, but I love that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, so nice. I have some wonderful angels in my life. Another one of the ladies, she told me, um, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Listen. This is from Michelle. Lord have mercy. She's really on one. I was like, let's be friends, Michelle. Okay. Ain't nobody got time for all of that arguing back and forth. That's why that TikTok, you wanna argue. I ain't arguing with you. You mad. You seen that? Have you seen that TikTok? It's amazing. Oh, it's so funny, honey. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. Um, okay, so one of the cherubs got in touch with me, and what she wanted to find out is about, as you see it on the title, the aviation schools here in Seattle. I really never got into it, and I'm going to tell you why, because most pilots are short. They're pretty short. As a matter of fact, when I interviewed at SkyWest in Salt Lake, I was too tall for the job. So just so you know, pilots and stuff like that, they're very short, especially on commuter airlines, which SkyWest is a commuter airline, so the planes are smaller. So it's just like in the military, the guys that are in the tanks, they're short. Guys that are 6 feet and tall like that, they are not in, they don't do tanks because they're too tall to fit into the equipment. So I got aviation schools in Seattle, which is what she wanted to know about. I told her that I would do a vlog on this. I had such a long comment. So let's see. So that's what this is about. Aviation schools in Seattle, Washington. Okay. And the disclaimer is all of the information that I'm about to tell you is coming directly from the internet, because I have never wanted to be a flight attendant or anything like that. I should be studying my Harvard class. We're doing lessons from the opposition. This module focuses on speeches by two individuals who vehemently disagree on a still conversational subject, gun control. That's the next one. Okay. But I'm ahead in my lesson plan. I'm waiting for my professor to give me his response on my first draft for my op-ed. Okay, so if you're a subscriber to my channel, then you've already seen that. If you're new here, then you may want to go and check that out. That's what I'm working on right now. In my Harvard University course. And so my op-ed was on Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, but it's different. It's got a little twist in there. If you know me, if you follow my channel, I have some zingers in there. If you're not careful, I'll get you. Yes, honey, you'll be like, what? Yes, honey. A lot of people don't catch it. It'd be like, shoo, over their head. But the ones who do, we have a good time. We have a good time, honey. So let's look into this. Okay, so what we want is the flight schools that are here in Seattle. So this one comes highly recommended, and this is Galvin Flying, Galvin Flying. This is a flight school. They've been in business for 10+ years. I live in Tukwila, so I'm right down the street from the flight schools, okay? Down Marginal Way, I drive by them all the time, but I've never gone into them because, like I say, I'm pretty tall, and unless it's like a huge major airlines, you know, the really big Concords and stuff like that, they don't really have those no more, you know. So Galvin Flying, they close at 8 o'clock tonight, so in a couple of hours. They have been in business for 10+ years, and it says that there's a review right on here. It says they are the best school around, best flight school around. That's what they're saying. Okay, so I'm gonna give you, I guess I'll give you 3. So hold on, let me just get this information. So Galvin Flying, there is 7001 Parameter Road South in Boeing Field. And it says your journey starts here. Take flight opportunities for life. Okay, so they have flight training, aircraft maintenance, charter flights, aircraft leasing, flight simulators, aircraft rental ownership. Okay, so this is, let me look at their staff and let me see if they're diverse. It says, meet our team. Our diverse, experienced team is dedicated to you. Flight instructors and maintenance team. Okay. Flight instructor, they've got Nicole Kane. She's a chief flight instructor. She grew up near Campbell Airstrip in Anchorage, Alaska, and always imagined herself flying in the airplane she watched overhead. They've got Eric Lynn, Director of Operations. Eric learned to fly in Auburn, Washington, achieving his ratings through MEI in 2 years before moving into flight school operations. He flew as a Horizon Air pilot. Okay. Then they've got Brandy. She's a Czech instructor. Born and raised in Seattle, Brandy grew up in awe of the Blue Angels. She took her first flight in her grandfather's small plane. Okay. Bob Mcbroom, Czech instructor. As an Army veteran, Bob moved around quite a bit, but earned certificates wherever he was based. He completed his private pilot training in Okinawa, Japan. So he's probably, well, they say Army veteran, but if he was in Okinawa, he's probably a Marine. Bruce Williams, Czech instructor. Bruce grew up in an Air Force family and believes flying is in his DNA. He learned to fly in Spokane, Washington while he was still in high school. Okay. And then we've got Carl Sandman, Czech instructor. Carl learned to fly in Reno, Nevada and Pomona Beach, Florida. Always fascinated with airplanes. He was hooked after his first intro flight. Okay. Marquise Lindagan. Marquise became fascinated with aviation while playing baseball. His travel team regularly played in out-of-state tournaments, and although he was thrilled to play baseball around the country, he found himself drawn to airplanes. Then they've got Gabriel Barsardo, nothing written on him. Nick, Steve Booth, Maggie Brooks. After graduating from the University of Washington with a degree in linguistics, Maggie was looking for a career that would challenge her. Having always loved to travel, of course, she thought of aviation. Martin Bueller. Martin learned to fly at Tacoma Narrows Airport in Gig Harbor, Washington, while he started out liking airplanes but not particularly interested in flying them. So this is what I would say to you. If you're going to consider going to this school and you are not from the Seattle area, you have to be a person that really hates your hometown. Otherwise, these guys are going to just flaunt Seattle so much in your face until you're just going to want to just stick up for the place that you like, and they're going to give you the chop. They're going to give you a hard time. So that's what I would say to you about Galvin Flying. It's really, really heavy on Pacific Northwest people. Okay. Number two, when I looked, they said that they have a diverse group of people. Diverse means white male and white female. Young. I'm going to say that. You know what that means. Read between them lines. You see them lines? Read between the lines. You know what I'm talking about, okay? I did not see not one black woman nor any black man or any other race. I've met Ethiopian pilots as well as stewardesses and stuff like that. Galvin Flying. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And everybody is from up here. So the group of, if you plan on flying up here as well, this being your base, then that's another thing that you want to think about. If you are interested in going to aviation school and you want to fly out of some other place as your hub, like for the commuter plane, SkyWest, that service. The home base was in Utah. They didn't have one here in Seattle. There's another commuter airline that's over in Boston. So depending on where you're from and where you want your base to be that you're going to be flying out of for the majority of the time, if I were you, I would consider an aviation school in that area. Okay, so the next, if you happen to be from Seattle and you are watching this, you probably know all the connections with these different people with the aviation schools. Okay, but so this video is mainly for people who are not from Seattle but are considering going to aviation schools here. Does that make sense? Okay, the next one is Raisbeck Aviation High School. So this is for parents whose kids who may be interested in aviation, right? And they're in elementary or they're in middle school and you're thinking about moving up here. So I thought that this was very interesting. The mascot is the Phoenix. I don't think that that's a good mascot for aviation school. That's just me. It's a bird that catches on fire and then is reborn from. I just prefer birds or airplanes that don't catch on fire. That remind you of Donald Trump. That's what I prefer. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. That's the mascot, honey. So I'll put that out there right immediately. This school is in Tukwila. It's up the way from me. It is a brand new school. They got lots and lots of money. The kids look creepy as hell. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They look weird. They don't seem, they almost seem like AI. I'm gonna say it like that. Raisbeck Aviation High School, part of the Highline School District, which is here in Tukwila, is located in Tukwila, Washington. The school is an aviation and aerospace themed STEM school. So you know what that is, science, technology, electronics, and mathematics school. And one of the Highline School District's small schools. It is focused on preparing students for college careers and citizenship. And they probably got brainwashing over there too. That's what it looked like to me. It's very weird. I'm just going to say it. This is my channel. If you don't like it, go ahead on and click off now. You can look at one of my other videos. Okay, but I'm gonna just tell you just how I feel about it. Okay, this is my commentary, and that's what we do over here. We keep it real, we keep it cute, but we are very honest and sincere with our opinions. Okay, this is my experience with this school. Just as a the first time that I went over there, I was delivering packages for Amazon, and that's the reason why I had to be over there. Another time I was over there, I went over there with God, I can't even remember his name. This man that I was engaged to, child, his name is going out of my mind. But we went over to the museum, and the Museum of Flight has like sections to it and different floors. So, and it's across the street from each other. One part is on this side of Marginal Way, the other side is a bridge, and on the other side. And on this second side of Marginal Way, the school is behind the museum. Okay, so if you're going towards Seattle, that's one side of the Flight Museum. And then there's where they have all that planes landing and stuff going to Australia, going to Japan, you know, those flights, Qantas, you'll see those planes over there. And the control tower is on that side, on the right hand side when you're on Marginal Way going to Seattle. Now on the opposite side, that's where the second part of the Flight Museum is, and they have all these old Boeing flights, planes. They had a plane that JFK, you know, used to be Air Force One, is over there, and it's in the museum. They have the space shuttle type stuff over there, and then right behind there, that's where the school is. That's where the school is. And the kids can look out the window and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, when they look out the window, they look like children of the corn. Children of the corn. Weird. I have driven up and down Marginal Way. As a matter of fact, I used to have a class over there by Boeing. Boeing is there, the original Boeing factory. And I used to have to go to a class over there, and I would be there all day, y'all. And for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I remember always looking at them kids and, being on break and stuff. And I just thought, weird as hell. I said they probably, instead of them eating bologna sandwiches, they probably eating human baby sandwiches over there. It's very, very weird. But, and it's a high school level. So, if you want to phone them and get information, the phone number is 206-631-7200. It is a Highline public school. So when you go to the website, it takes you right to that high school and you can see the kids. And I'm telling you, they look weird. So you've got these are the people who represent the school when you see, and they look weird. These are high school students. And one of the girls got on shades. I'm just saying. Very weird. Um, yeah. You'll see what when you look on there. The only thing I can say about this school is they do have uh, children there that are of color, but they are boys. There are not girls there. Let me see. Next. I see a black boy. No black females at all. None. There is one, and looks like a Muslim girl, and they may be teachers. Let's see what else they say about the school. Hmm. Like I said, the school has lots of money. It has lots of money. If I were you, I would definitely try to do a tour and interview with several people, try to get a feel for it. Um, I'm not an aviation person. I'm not an aviation person. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Just like I'm not a restaurant type person. Okay, so my perspective is a little bit different. Most of the time when it comes to a pilot, I never see them. One day I was over in Georgetown at this restaurant, and these guys walked up and they were in uniform, and I thought they were military. So I said, "Are you guys Navy or Marines?" And they said, "Oh, we're pilots." And when they said that, I was like, because I just have this thing about pilots. I just do. I'm not the best person, or I'm not so impressed by pilots. I just think that they're drivers in the sky. They're like my Uber driver, but they're um, instead of it being a car, they drive an airplane. That's it. That's the way I see them. Am I wrong? Let me know. I could have a bad attitude about it. My perspective is just my opinion. It's my opinion. I just see them. I'm not all up and impressed with my Uber drivers. You know what I'm saying? They're just guys going from point A to point B. They follow their GPS and all that, and they get messages through, it's the same thing through the control center. It's the same thing what the pilots use. But anyway, the cherub wanted to know about the schools up here, so this is from the school. They have a Twitter account. That's impressive. Um, this is from Raisbeck Aviation PTSA. That's cool. I think it could be good, as far as driving schools go. It's better than getting a CDL. I can tell you that. The website is a lot more innovative and up to date than driving 18 wheelers, which 18 wheelers are, it's more dangerous to be a driver of an 18 wheeler than it is to be a driver of a jet or an airplane. It's just nerve wracking. I just cannot. It's just not for me. It's not for me, honey. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So I think that that's a good one too. And then the other top of the top 3 schools. So the first one was Galvin Flying. The number 2 best flight school they're saying is, it's Galvin, Galvin Flying. So you want to check them out. Number 2, Raisbeck Aviation High School. Galvin is for adults. This school is for your pilot and your family to get a head start. Raisbeck seems to be a really great school. A really, really great school. It's very impressive to me. If I had a kid that was interested in being a pilot, I would definitely be interested in this school. Definitely. Unless, like I say, we're not from Seattle, and I would be looking at a school in my city and state. That's what I would be doing. Okay. And I gotta tell you, up here, the Seattle people do have a heightened sense of their worth and their accomplishments here. And I think it's because for so long, Seattle was really, really looked down upon by everybody before Microsoft, before Bill Gates. And so when that happened, it kind of jump-started their whole situation. You have to remember, the internet, web, and Microsoft and stuff, that kind of really hit their stride in 1995. And then 6 years later, boom, it was the World Trade Center. And we've kind of been weird ever since. And you have to remember, for 20 years, the aviation industry, all of that, this whole terror thing and the war in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq, this 20 years really hit this industry really, really hard. And you have to remember, this area got hit really, really hard when the World Trade Centers happened, because it grounded all the flights. Remember, it grounded all of the flights. So this area really took a hit. And the fact that they've been able to survive and, took sheer will. And so they're very proud of that. The only problem is, like I say, they're so proud of it, and they're so vocal about it, and they're so dismissive of other places and their accomplishments, until it's only natural for you to want to kind of say, well, hell, Houston ain't that bad, baby. We got the Space Center. Y'all may have jets, baby, but we have shuttles. Hello, don't be looking down your nose at H-Town. And the same way with Florida. A lot of people talk about Florida, but they've got their space station and Cape Canaveral, and their expertise, and they, everybody has something that they have really accomplished that they can be proud of, even if it's a place in Podunk, Kansas, where they just have peace and quiet, honey, where you can just sit and just relax. To me, it's the best place for a spa. Go to Kansas and just unplug, honey. Turn that cell phone off, turn all that stuff off, and just get you some rest and some relaxation, honey, and sleep. Have some clean water that don't have, DuPont poisonous particles in it. It's just, I'm just saying. But like I say, if you come here, just brace yourself. Be prepared to, God, these guys just, it's so much in your face, and they're so anti other places, because they have been dogged so poorly. I remember in the 70s, on Johnny Carson's show, the celebrities and stuff talk so horrible about Seattle and about the Mariners never winning. I mean, they were true. They were saying the truth, but so what? you know, that's their opinion, so what? But for some reason up here, they take all that kind of stuff to heart. And so when it comes to them bragging about what it is that Seattle does, they just go way overboard. And I don't know if they do that because of the drugs or because of this being a super, there's a behavioral problem in Seattle when it comes to depression and stuff like that, being able to interact with other people. I mean, Bill Gates had that problem himself. He didn't get along well with other people, but even he cheated on his wife, and that gives you an idea. You would think that somebody who is slow or who has different problems or whatever, that they would at least be nice. No. 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 You would think that they would be humble. No. No. A lot of other places that have accomplished a lot of things, that have survived a lot of things, they have learned to be humble. A lot of times they don't even speak about their accomplishments and what it is that they've done. They never bring it up because they know that tragedies, they're going to happen. Whatever it is that you do that is remarkably successful, never, ever, ever blow your own horn. Never blow your own horn about it. If somebody is meant to know about it, they will know about it. If someone else don't know about it, it's okay. You don't have to say, well, I did. It's something about it. It's a negative connotation about um, bragging, being so braggadocious about what it is that you're doing and putting other people down. It's you know what I'm trying to say. Put it down in the comments. You know what I'm trying to say. I just, it 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 doesn't make for a very close team. I'll put it to you that way. And here in Seattle, the Seattleites and the Seattleites and native Seattleites, they're thick as thieves, and nobody else can get in. They don't want to let other people in. They want to keep Seattle for Seattle and all that. Kind of like if the Kennedys dated the Kennedys. You know what I'm saying? Incest, inbreeding. That's what's going on in the Seattle area. And when you're around nothing but people who think like you think and see like you see, and that's all you know, that's all that you're around, because anything that is different or new or better, you feel inferior. You feel some kind of a way, in a negative way, instead of being excited. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an example. I had an opportunity to maybe be a counselor, a camp counselor for the American school in France. Oh man, I was excited. You should have seen me brushing up on my parlez-vous en français on Duolingo. Oh yes, honey, I was excited about it. Well, if you look at it in the context of how Seattleites are, the idea that they may have to go to any other place to be trained or to get an experience, or they just would feel a certain kind of a way, it would be a negative experience for them. They would not be excited about the prospect, you know. And anybody who comes uh, into their environment who is proud of where they're from, they immediately attack them. You know, there's been people who come here and who have California license plates on there, and the Seattleites will attack them. Go back to California, blah, 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 blah. Just rude. That's just what they do. That's just what they do. And I don't know why. I just feel like um, they had, they really wanted to be like all of the other um, communities, cities, and states that have been doing so many wonderful things for so long, and Seattle was just known as this quirky, weird little place over in the Pacific Northwest, you know, in the far left corner of the United States, where they were just weirdos, you know, tree huggers and hippies, and you know, and for them, they were kind of embarrassed to be known as a quirky little town. And I think that that's unfortunate. I think that that's unfortunate, and I think that they really missed something truly magical before Bill Gates. You know what I mean? Before Bill Gates, I mean, they had so many problems over here. You know, I heard about how people were dying. They were dying with, is it heroin? Opium. They had opium dens here. The Asians were just, you had on the Anglo side, the white people here, they were heavy into prostitution. Heavy into prostitution. If you heard the what was it, the rumor about Donald Trump's dad bringing women up here for the men. It was so many men up here and not enough women. And so Fred Trump used to bring in women for these guys, and it just, the bedrock of Seattle is prostitution. Okay? There's a podcast on it, and there was this one lady, she was just like running everything. She was a madam here. And the red light history of Seattle, so you want to check that out. It's at www.seattlemet.com. So prostitution runs as deep as rain through Seattle's history. Okay, you need to know that. If you come in here for aviation school, please know that that's playing in the background. Please know that that's the reason why at Galvin Flight School, they've got all these old dirty men and then all these here young women working now. Okay? Not one black woman. Not one black woman. It's some, you know, back in the day, I had some engineers. They were with the Army Corps of Engineers here, and they were telling me how, honey, over at Boeing, they used to roll in a keg of liquor onto the job property, and they would be getting drunk and doing all kinds of stuff over here at Boeing, honey. You know, things that, honey, they never would allow at KBR. Kellogg Brown and Root. Oh no, baby, you be out of there. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's not happening. I tell you a little history fact. My daddy got blackballed from Kellogg Brown and Root back in the day because my daddy was up to shenanigans over there. I'll tell you about it one day. That's one story I ain't told y'all, honey. But yep. Yes, indeed, honey. But they was up here, honey, dipping it low and spreading it wide and drinking. You know, they got their drinks up. What you think? You know, that's how they was getting down up in the Pacific Northwest. And the way that us paperback colored people ended up here is because of the military. You know, a lot of our guys were coming from Okinawa, and they would stay here at the base here in Washington State, and these white girls would be all over them. Chris Rock said it. He said as soon as you get to the airport, honey, these white ladies be lined up. And I'm telling you, I was in the Safeway, and this white woman just got buck naked up in the store because this tall black man was in the line in the Safeway right at SeaTac, honey. And SeaTac, you know, that's where the airport is, a regular public airport. commercial flights. Delta has a terminal there, and Alaska Airlines has a terminal there, you know. And this woman, honey, white woman, just just got bucket naked, just barely, in the Safeway store, in the public. I'm telling you, that's what you need to know. If you're gonna come up here to Seattle to go to the School of Aviation, you just need to know that there is a lot going on here in the background, and you need to be able to be aware of this stuff, but to steer clear of it. If you're going to come up here, do not get offended by the Seattle people pumping up Seattle so much. You know what I mean? It's just like the really good stuff, it don't need no promotion. People find that. You know what I'm saying? They find it. It don't really need no major promotion. The good stuff don't. As a matter of fact, the really good stuff ain't no advertising. Ain't no promotion. It's all about word of mouth. It's all about word of mouth. Okay? So, just like with Houston, you never see any commercials about NASA. You never see any commercials about the Houston Ship Channel and other industries that are in Houston that I'm not even going to mention. You never hear nothing about it. There's no promotion. Those who know just know. And they tell the ones who need to know or whatever, the people who are doing business and have contracts and stuff like that, they know. A lot of stuff I know because I lived in that area, but Houston is a big place. It's a big place. There was some neighborhoods in Houston that I never set foot in until I was, of a certain age. But, I was grown. But as a kid, I never went to those places. It wasn't near my school. None of my events was over there. No, I'd never had to, even at our congregation with Jehovah's Witnesses, we had a certain territory. And we worked our territory. That was it. So, the same way it's here in Seattle, there are some really good things, but you have to be careful because, like I say, this place is not built on Boeing. Boeing is built on the red light history of Seattle. That's what was here first. That's what was here first. That's when this city burned down. That's where the revenue came from these prostitutes and what they were doing. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry to tell you that, but it's something that I did not know. It's something that I did not know when I came to Seattle. And there's a lot of people that are into prostitution here, and if it's not something that you really want to be I keep to myself, you know what I mean? Because, like the Asian culture, they had the geisha girls and all of that. Those were young underage girls that were having sex with these businessmen and stuff. I mean, come on now. It's really real out here. A lot of people think that this place is clean and more pristine and you don't have pizza rat and all of that, but it's got its own dirt. It's got its own dirt. Okay? There's a private sex club right around the corner from where I stay. They don't have no sign out there, but they're registered with the Chamber of Commerce. They pay taxes. Jesus. If I had known then what I know now, honey, I never would have came here. I never would have came here with my teenage sons, honey. But you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You come out here, what you really working with, oh, it's gonna be known. It's gonna be known by everybody. Everybody up in heaven gonna be like, okay, what's really inside of you? What really tempts you? What you really about? Cause you can get it here. Anything to do with the flesh, you can get it here. Being rude. Do you know how Elijah was going up and the boys came and disrespected him? Those boys, time to go up, you old bald head, and he called those bears to maul them. Disrespectful young people. Disrespectful old people. Temple prostitutes. Yes, yes. Sex clubs and drugs. Yep. Casinos, gambling, excessive drinking, cocaine usage, meth usage, bestiality. That's something else that happened here. This man had enough money that he was able to build a harness where he could have sex with a horse. And he was having sex with the horse, and the horse killed him. That happened up here. Another man had sex with a female dog and hung her. That happened up here. What else? This man that was married to this here woman, white couple, young couple, looked clean, and they was having all kinds of raunchy sex. She was pegging him and all of that, and he ended up still. That wasn't enough for him. He ended up having sex with an infant, and that's why she left him and divorced him. I think he killed the baby. You can Google it, but I don't even want that on my computer screen. I'm not even going to pull it up, but I remember it being in the news up here. Now, I'm quite sure it didn't make the news where you are, but it was in the news up here. It was in the news up here. And I'm going to tell you something else. A job that I had up here, it was on McNeil Island, and for the state of Washington. And it's ran by the Department of oh God, Social Services. It's in Social Services. And so I would drive from Tukwila to Steilacoom, catch the ferry, get off the ferry, then get onto a school bus to travel miles into the center of the island to the Special Commitment Center. And at the Special Commitment Center was all these nasty men that had did sexual crimes to children that was so heinous that even after they had served their time, they were not let out into the public, but they were kept secluded on this here island at the Special Commitment Center. And I got hired to work out there. It was just, we had one woman, a white lady, and she was at the Special Commitment Center as well. So there was a men's part and a woman's part, and she was the only woman on the island. But she had did some things that was so horrible to little kids that even after she did her prison term, she was, first of all, she was charged. You know how rare that is. Secondly, she did her time without getting out early for good behavior, none of that kind of stuff, because you know they're good at that. And then number 3, even though she did her time, what she did was so horrific that they put her in the Special Commitment Center. Number 4, she wasn't mentally ill for doing it. That's why she wasn't in, because they have the state hospital, Washington State Hospital, for the mentally and criminally insane and all that kind of stuff. She was not there. That tells you that she was in her right mind for what she did to these said children. And that's why she was in the Special Commitment Center. And these men, guess what? A lot of them are getting pensions from what? Ding, 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 Boeing. So, as I said, as you consider your vocation in aviation, do your research, boo-boo kitty. Now, you asked me about Seattle. That's what I got. The top three, I gave you the top two, right? I gave you Galvin Flying, and I gave you um, what is this? This is Raisbeck Aviation High School for the high schoolers. You know your background. You know your relationship with God or your lack of relationship with God. So, uh, it's your decision to make, you know, that's your decision to make. But there you go. Let's see. These other ones are not schools, look like. These other ones are not school. Let's try this one. It's Pacific Northwest Aeronautics. Now this is in Kitsap County, which is different than King County. Okay, that's over by the naval base in Bremerton. So, and that's a different kettle of worms, Lord Jesus, sweet God. This is Earth, okay? This is where it goes down. If you can go there, just do what you need to do and get what you need and get out. That's what I suggest that you do. This one is in Bremerton. So, when you come into Seattle, you fly into SeaTac. To get to Bremerton, you have to go and catch the ferry over. Okay, it's over on the other side of Puget Sound. The website is seattleflighttraining.com. Okay, so when I go to their website, it says, "We look forward to flying with you. Pacific Northwest Aeronautics. Flight schedule, you can book a lesson." Okay, so this is a little bit, I think, I was listening to Bill Burr. Bill Burr can fly. He got his license. You may want to inbox Bill Burr. You can ask him questions and stuff like that. He does his podcast, and he will answer you on his podcast. I think Bill said that he did 40 hours of flight lessons in order to get his pilot's license. So that's something that you may want to look into. Let me see if I can get Bill's email for you. Email. He gives email advice, and he will tell you his opinion. And he's pretty honest. He's just like me. He will tell you. Okay? He will tell you. Okay, so the email is bill@THEMMPodcast.com. Okay, so Bill, this is for Bill Burr. He's a comedian. He also has his flight license where he can fly, and he does say on his podcast what it's like, you know, being a pilot and all that kind of stuff. And so you can email specific questions about this type of getting your flight license. You can do it the same way that Bill did, and he was saying that he had to have 40 hours of flight time. And Bill will tell you that he is he says some stuff. Okay, so he will let you know he's not the most brilliant person in the world. He received his pilot's license so that he can fly. Okay. His email again at his podcast is BILL for Bill at themmmpodcast.com. That's the email. So you can email him on his podcast. He will tell you what you need in addition to the 40 hours of flight time in order to get your pilot's license. And I know that he lives in California. So if you live in another state or whatever, there may be some other requirements, but he can tell you about his experience. And since he is a pilot, and as a matter of fact, I think Bill is 5'8". So anyway, that's the email. I've been on here long enough. If you have any other questions, I can do an additional vlog, especially if there's a specific school that you're interested in. You just said aviation in Seattle. So Let me know if this answers all your questions or not. Leave your comments below. If you're new here, please subscribe to this channel and like and share. Hit the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload. I do have a regular upload that's on my production schedule where it uploads there's new material every Monday at 10 a.m. Your time. And then I do videos like this, uploads like this, whenever subscribers send me questions or I have to do a comment and it's so long, which I did respond to her comment really long, and I said I'm probably going to do a vlog on it because it's just so much information. This is a very complex place. There's a lot of moving parts. There's so many people who get caught up in Seattle, not unable to focus. I'm telling you, Seattle is not for the faint of heart. Just because this place is a liberal state does not mean that these people are nice. They are not. Does not mean that liberal equals caring and sweet and kind and freedom, where you are free to be yourself. You are free to be like them. You are free to speak like them. You are free to do what they do. If you do anything different, you're going to have some problems. You're going to have some problems. Child, listen, coming from a Republican state, coming from an ultra conservative, state, I thought that the liberals were a completely different animal than what they actually are. Liberals are not what conservative people think that they are. They do not, it is not synonymous with freedom. It is not synonymous with kindness and compassion. It is not synonymous with truth. Not at all. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. So, trust me, you will be back home in your conservative state and thanking Jesus and kissing the ground that you walked on, honey, once you've been around these liberals, baby. So many people who have power, they want to rule over other people. They do not want you to be who you are. They want you to be a replica of them. There was a guy who was dating a black girl. He played for the Seahawks. Big white guy. I don't even know where he was from. But he jumped on this girl because he told her to bow down to him. This is a liberal state. Do you know that I've never heard any redneck cowboy Peckerwood in H-Town saying to his little darling, bow down to me? He would never do that. You know why? Because he's a southern boy. He don't even talk like that. He don't even talk like that. Everything is darling and sweetie and sugar and baby. That's how they talk. They don't talk like that. That was a liberal who told his black girlfriend, he's a white man, big white man, play for the NFL, said to her to bow down to him. I ain't never heard no redneck southern boy, not from Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia. They don't talk like that. They don't talk like that to their women. Bow down? You lost your ever-loving mind? There's no way. There's no way, honey. But they did. In the liberal state, that happened. Do your research, boo-boo kitty. Do your research, cherubs and saints. I'm going to tell you, honey. Know before you go. Know before you go. It's some stuff that goes on with the liberals. Honey, it will get you killed with the conservatives. It'll get you killed. You will be dead, dead, dead. Baby, the disrespect, The audacity, the rudeness, the vulgarities, and no consequences. No consequences. They do all kinds of stuff up here, honey, the liberals. It's not the definition of liberal what you think it is. Okay. For more of conversations just like this, my darlings, let me know down in the comments. Talk to me. Let's be friends. Let's talk. I need y'all so desperately. while I'm up here with the liberals. Sweet Jesus, let me tell you, the GOP up here, they're a whole different thing too. I'm gonna tell you that they have in every county they have uh, factions of each party. So in King County, the King County GOP is one organization. So then Harris County GOP, do you know they don't want nothing to do with King County GOP? Did you know that? Did you know? It's a completely different Republican. These Republicans up here is far different from the other Republicans. And they don't associate with each other. They don't associate with each other. Jesus. Oh my God. Do your homework, honey. I will tell you what I can. Even I don't know everything, because let me tell you, the most exposure that I got was in raising my kids. And when my kids got grown, I started traveling. I took the job in Baghdad. You know, I was down in H-Town for my training and stuff, and I was so happy. Just even though I was on the north side, I was in Greenspoint, but just to be out of Seattle, and let me tell you, nobody had gotten as far in the process as me. I had to go through so many different things and take so many tests and all this kind of stuff. And being a liberal from up here, you can't pass the test. You can't pass the test to go overseas to represent this country. Anybody can't go. Anybody can go. But because I was raised a certain kind of a way, I have been educated a certain kind of a way, I have a certain viewpoint in life, it benefited me to be able to go overseas and work. I was able to pass all those tests. I was able to work with people from Uganda and South Africa and Bulgaria and Bosnia, and it wasn't any problem, because coming from Houston, it's an international city, but it's an international city we all respect each other. You know, there wasn't anybody you know, Asian people in the Miller Street hollering at folks, and the Samoans is getting into it with the Hawaiians, and the Somalis can't stand the South Africans, that the Nigerians, you know, none of that kind of stuff happened because there's consequences. There's stuff that goes down in H-Town, but it's normally family situations. Girlfriend and boyfriend situation. In Houston, what I remember mostly was girls that were having affairs with married men. Oh, they get dead. Or they get DEAD. I know the monitors for what's it called? I'm sorry, you guys. I meant to say DEA, you know. And the moral of that story is, cut all that fornication and adulterating out. Do what you're supposed to do. Mind your business, take your behind to school, pay your bills, and enjoy your life. That's it. That's it. All the rest of that fool-la-la, leave that alone. Leave that alone, honey. That is for fools and babies. Because anybody with any kind of sense know that there's only two places that all that fool-la-la gonna lead you to, honey. And that is to an early grave or a jail cell. And if you care about your people, you're not trying to do neither one of those two things. Have respect for yourself, respect for your family tree. Don't leave here before your time, and don't go to jail. Don't give up your freedom. That's it. That's all I got. That's all. That's all. I'm done. And that was my video on aviation schools in Seattle, Washington. God bless you. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.